country at large, what do you observe from these pro-Palestine students? Because Jim and I have been kind of discussing what's really motivating them. And you're a libertarian. You've got some nuanced perspective on the actual conflict that's happening in Gaza. What do you think is motivating the students who are participating in this encampment?
Well, you're right, Avita. I am a libertarian, I guess you could say, and I have, nuanced views about the Israel-Palestine conflict itself. But the reason I'm so categorically against this encampment and the encampments at many of the other schools is because this, frankly, has only a tangential connection to the conflict, right? And most of my friends who are likewise critical to some extent of Israel's, military actions in Gaza, most of them have realized that these encampments are silly and should not be, looked up to. But a minority of my kind of libertarian friends, unfortunately have said that these encampments are a good thing. And I would just make a PSA to them. These students and non-students, these operatives, they frankly know very little about the conflict. They want radical solutions. They're calling for intifadas. And more importantly, because they don't know much about the conflict, they're really just co-opting this issue, just like they co-opted, the death of George Floyd, just like they co-opt environmentalism, all of these other, issues du jour. They co-opt them and just apply Maoist fear and intimidation tactics to get their way, which is why, these aren't protesters of decades past who wanted their views to be disseminated. When you try videoing them, which you would think they would want, their ideas to be propagated, they blockade you, they get in the way of you, they shove flags and kefias in your face. And just now, when we tried marching on the quad, which we have every right to do, they blocked us, pushed us, punched us, ripped our flags. So these are fundamentally, you don't want to put anyone in a box, but for the most part, these are Maoists using an issue they know very little about. So I would just tell anyone who has nuanced views about the Israel-Palestine conflict, that doesn't mean you have to support these students. My catchphrase, if I had one, would be, the conflict is complex. The motives of these protesters are simple. That's what I would say.
So, Mitch, I'm sure the administrators of the university are out there, and all the professors are out there telling these protesters, hey, come on, get it together. This isn't correct. You can't be doing that anymore. Am I misinterpreting that?
Well, it's a little bit interesting right now. So the timeline is that Monday, President Olivis Atos, president of the university, said that although the encampment is breaking rules, it will be temporarily allowed so long as it doesn't interrupt studies, scholarship, freedom of movement, and doesn't involve violence or harassment. Well,
which it all
of those
is.
Things have since ensued. Every single one of them. I'd be happy to go into that, but and I already did partially. So this morning, as a result of that, President Olivis Atos then said this encampment now must be disbanded. Now, the only ambiguity is that he did not provide a timeline, like an ultimatum of, at this time, if you haven't vacated, we're going to send people in and have it disbanded. So, at some point that will be the outcome, but we don't know the timeline. We just know that the administration is now against this because this is a content-neutral concern. This is not, we don't like what the protesters are saying. I would never want to interfere with that. The behavior is unacceptable. The behavior.
Well, it sounds like we're making a little bit of progress then. I guess it's not as out of hand as it would have been in UCLA or at Columbia. So it seems like things are in hand. Mitch, I really appreciate you giving us all this good information. It's nice to get a report from being right on the ground there. Thanks for doing this.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, appreciate it. That was definitely worth it, Avita. I mean, I don't think he noted my sarcasm and because I expected the administration to do absolutely nothing. But apparently, I guess they are standing up a little bit.
Yeah, Jim, I'm glad that you circle back to that because the University of Chicago has gotten a lot of praise for supposedly doing something about this encampment, but the university has not actually done anything. They came out with a both sidesism statement when the encampment went up several days ago. They allowed it to stay. It's there until now. Apparently now they've sent out a new statement just today saying that it will be taken down. But like Mitch said, there's no timeline. And of course, the university has no desire to get rid of this encampment because it would make them look bad and because they actually agree with the ideology that these students are promoting. Again, the left eats itself. This is exactly what we're looking at. And the University of Chicago, reserve your praise for them if you're a conservative and you're on Twitter trying to support them, because they haven't done anything yet. The encampment's still there, and apparently they're being violent toward other students.
And it's obvious, they're in with the cause of the Gazans because, obviously they need condoms. So I know that's what the Gazans would want.
Right. Plan B, HIV, medication, like the list really is insane. I'm wondering, they're encamping. What are they doing on campus grounds if they need Plan B and condoms? Ridiculous.
Amazing. All right, we got more coming up. We're going to switch gears a little bit too. I promise we're going to get a little bit off of this. It's producer Jim and Avita Duffy Alfonso filling in for Dan Bongino.
Are you feeling the impact of the recent changes in the timeshare industry? My friends at Lone Star Transfer are the only company I trust to help you. For over a decade, they've successfully helped over 20,000 owners get out. With an A+ rating at the BBB and thousands of 5-star reviews, customer service is their priority. For a free consultation and a guaranteed solution, call 844-284-4864. That's 844-284-4864 or LoneStarTransfer.com.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Dan Bongino. Take Dan Bongino with you wherever you go with the KTTH smartphone
Got
app.
a ton of stuff, loaded show for you today.
Or stream it live on your smart speaker.
Playing KTTH.
Jason Rantz here for Bellevue Rare Coins, where you get transparent expertise. You rely on Bellevue Rare Coins for honest and accurate assessments because this is what they do. Their expert evaluations mirror the genuine worth of everything that you're offering, giving you some peace of mind and clarity. In fact, they've streamlined the process to put you first. They make valuation straightforward and hassle-free. Visit one of Bellevue Rare Coin's 4 locations